success. I mean, making the All-Star game, second in the league right now in hitting, has, really been fantastic. And, loosely following him through, Grand Canyon, and then didn't spend much time in the minor leagues before he got up, and has been playing really well.
Donnie Paul was named MVP of the team along with Pitcher of the Year with the Clemente and Blas Awards. How have you seen him take on leadership throughout this season?
Oh man, in a lot of different ways. I mean, the thing that stands out to me with Paul is the way he leads himself first, and the expectations he has for himself, and how he works and goes about it every single day, which, along with his dominance on the field, gives him that voice because of who he is every single day with his teammates and how he goes about it. He leads by example, and he's not afraid to have tough conversations as well with other people on what we need to do to be able to continue to get better, and totally deserving of all the awards.
Is it the conversations? Is it something he's doing on the field? Whenever you talk about him getting better, where have you seen that?
With Paul?
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, just again, we've talked a lot about it with him. This is his first full major league season, and for him personally, finding ways in preparation and recovery, and then also, with his teammates and having conversations around, whether it's expectations on the team, how we're going to go about things, just the way that he leads himself first and then carries himself that way, works like that, dominates on the field, and then it gives him that voice to be able to have those conversations with other people.
Is Mitch on any sort of leash of the remaining couple of starts? I think if one guy has, looking at his past workload, he's in a pretty good place to be able to go out and give you what he can for as long as he can.
Yeah, he is. And I know last outing he was at 62. That was more by feel of the game in that moment than it was any type of pitch limit with Mitch.
What does he mean to the Pirates rotation, right? And what has he meant, I guess, the last few years?
Yeah, he's meant a lot. I mean, the consistency of who he is. He's been here for so long, and signing the contract and being that type of leader. The way that Mitch has grown up too. I mean, I think we've talked a little bit about such a unique perspective for me to have been scouting for the Tigers and have seen his last AA start, which I think I've shared at times was dominant and almost a no-hitter. And then to see his first AAA start, which was completely the opposite and did not go anywhere near as planned, and to see his development now through the last 5 or 6 years, he's grown up so much in how he works, how he goes about it, the way that he pitches, finding ways to utilize different things, working on things in between outings to be more efficient, and again, when you talk about having Paul and Mitch at the top of the rotation of leading in that work and that preparation, we got two really good guys there.
How much would it mean for him to win here? I mean, maybe the question for him, but maybe a better way of phrasing is, how much would it mean to you to see him win here, considering he's been here a long time, he's more than paid his dues on so many different fronts?
Yeah, no doubt. It would be huge, and I think that talking about, that's what excites me, is he's been through the ups and downs and understanding that, and he's also been part of the All-Star game, and experienced baseball at that level, and so to be able to put it all together and win would be huge, not just for Mitch, but for everybody, like you said.
Johnny, you want me to pour you?
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't know about that.
Donnie, Jared, Emmanuel, and Andy are here in the clubhouse, obviously for their physicals. Obviously, their seasons did not go the way they wanted to, but how important is it for them to be here this weekend and, I guess, ingratiate themselves with their teammates?
Yeah, great to see those guys, and it's hard to be on the IL, especially when you're dealing with long-term injuries and something that's going to keep you on the shelf for a while. It's really, it's hard physically, but it's hard mentally too. So really cool to see them here this weekend, be able to hang out, see their teammates, check in, and get to spend some time with them, and really talking about three personalities that you really enjoy having around.
Are you guys doing exit interviews yet, or are you waiting for the road trip, or how does that process go? This will be your first time going through that system.
Yeah, so players have started with a performance group, and then on the road trip we'll have exit interviews with them.
How do you plan on going about it? First time as I don't know if they're hard, easy, productive, what kind of conversations are they typically?
I don't know either. You know, being the first time, being on the other end as a player, all as a player that you want is honesty and transparency and to be direct, and that would be my plan going into it, is to, you know, how we try to be with every conversation is honest with them and direct, and you know, let them know where they're at and where we feel, and it's a conversation too. It's not, there's nothing that is dictated in that regard of, like, you know, maybe there are opinions that we have, but it's a conversation with the player and trying to make sure that we're all on the same page moving forward.
Did you have exit interviews with Leland, and what were they like in terms of
My exit interviews with Leland were when I was getting exited. So they were not really exit interviews. It was, go back down to AAA and retrain. We'll see you soon.
You show you did.
Yeah.
Donnie, Paul said, you know, if guys don't learn from this season, it's a wasted year. You know, what's your, you know, what feel do you have for the group in terms of level of frustration about how the season went? And like Paul said, you know, guys need to be willing to sacrifice, and basically saying we can maybe sacrifice a little more to kind of get the collective where they want to go. Do you feel that is that a common thread, you think, maybe throughout the room, or is he maybe getting guys to kind of sit up a little bit?
I get chills thinking about it, because every good team there is sacrifice, and there is part of in terms of winning baseball. That's part of it. What does that sacrifice look like? That sacrifice looks like in the off season when we're talking about exit interviews, finding a way to get better, spending the time that you need to spend in the weight room, and making some changes. Maybe it's with pitch mix, maybe it's as a hitter, finding a way to get better with you know, your setup and your base or your swing, whatever it is. There's sacrifice throughout games of, you know, when you come up with a runner on second, finding a way to get him over to third. And when we talk about sacrifice on a whole, how do we buy into that concept of doing whatever it is that we can do individually to be the best for the team to go out there and win? And I think when Paul talks about that, when we talk about, you know, the things that make him who he is and what makes him special, he does that all off season long. I don't know how he does some of the things he does. There is never a time. Paul Skeens does not miss a day to throw. Like, he does not miss. He does not miss day to throw. He doesn't miss a bullpen. He does not miss, with everything that he's got going on, he is always putting baseball first. And again, he leads in that sacrifice. And I think that, you know, it's gotten better, we're not there yet. How do we continue to drive that home of showing up every day, doing whatever it is? Because in order to be great, there's going to be sacrifice involved.
You said you're not there yet. What do you need? What's lacking?
We need to continue to get better in all aspects. I mean, it's hard to, you know, point just at one thing. I mean, yes, we could sit here and point the offenses. We haven't been where we need to be. We need to get better with that. We need to get better, you know, on the bases. We need to get better defensively. We played pretty good defense, but the other day, you know, it cost us a game. How do we continue to have that mindset every day to show up, to get better, to do the things that we need to do, you know, from a pitching standpoint? How do we clean up some of the mechanical stuff to be able to dominate the pillars that we have of being in the strike zone, getting ahead, and putting guys away? And honestly, it never stops. You know, like that's the mindset that I want our staff to take and our players to take, is that you can never stop getting better. You know, where we're at right now, you know, next year, fighting for a playoff spot. Is that wild card? Is that division? You know, and then eventually the ultimate goal is to win the whole thing, you know, which I have not been able to be a part of. I finished second 2 times, and to, you know, that is, when you talk about playoff baseball, that's what we play for every day. That's what we sacrifice for all the time, is to be in that moment, to play in October where you can't even walk outside because there's, you know, like the media here in the office, it feels a little bit big, but when you get to the World Series and you can't even get out to the field because there's so much media on the warning track, that's what you play baseball for, is for that moment to experience that and win. And that's what our goal is every single day, is to continue to strive for that.
How far, close or far, or whatever, do you feel this team is from that goal of playoff contention? And
thing.
Yeah, I don't think we're not as far off as some might think, and I think that we've shown flashes of that. I think the consistency is a big thing. Being more consistent in the day-to-day type stuff. Eliminating these longer losing streaks and finding a way to go out and find a way to win. That's the thing, is when you're going through that. And look, we're at the end of the season. We got 9 games left. We got to push and find a way again to get better. We just had early hitting with 9 games left, and we have 5 guys out there hitting early, continuing to work, continuing to push, continuing to try to get better. And I think that with that mindset, we will get better, and we're not as far off as you may think. And finding a way to we do have to find a way to score some more runs.
Donnie, you've been a manager like 3/4 of the season now, give or take. How much have you enjoyed the role, and how much would you like to continue on in it for the foreseeable future?
I would love to. I've enjoyed it. It's been challenging. I've learned a lot through it. Certainly not perfect every single day. Continuing to learn, continuing to get better, and I would love to continue on. I just think that my focus is on every single day, and every single day trying to hold myself to that standard and hold our staff and then ultimately the players to that standard of getting better every single day.